So here we're looking at how we can basically use shapes as a mask, which we kind of know how to do, but how we kind of get those shapes from Illustrator to Photoshop. Okay, and essentially one of the kind of key things here is how we duplicate things and lay them out in a kind of pattern, so how we kind of space things out. Okay, so if we grab our Polygon tool in Illustrator, we're going to draw a triangle. So I'm just going to click once here to make sure that I've got my polygon set to triangle. So just click anywhere in the canvas and this will pop up, but just click once and it will make a triangle that we don't need, so we'll delete that and then we'll jump back to the Polygon tool. And now I'm holding down Shift to make sure that's totally straight or vertical, and then I'm going to flip the color on this. So I'm going to change the fill color to yellow in this case, and I'm going to take away the stroke here for this shape. Okay, and so basically now when I'm duplicating this shape, when I hold down the Alt key, I can move it and then just watch it snap with the smart guides turned on. Okay, so I can just kind of keep duplicating the shape. Oops. And you want to make sure it snaps as well, otherwise you end up with shapes that are a little bit offset. Okay, so basically I'm filling this whole screen up with triangles that I'll then take into Photoshop and use as a mask layer for other things. Okay, so I'll drop this down. I'm just going to move them here, and then I can just keep reselecting and duplicating, so I don't have to duplicate lots of times. Okay, and I'm just looking for where it snaps into place and intersects, so I can see that that's going to be a decent pattern. Okay, so I'll copy this. I'm going to go to Photoshop and I'm going to copy this image, make a new file. Okay, so I've got an iceberg like you do, and then oops, need to go back to Illustrator and copy again. Okay, and now I'm going to paste this in as a smart object. Okay, so basically you can see here that now we've got a smart object layer that we can use to kind of apply different effects to different parts of this image. Okay, so if I pull this above, right click and go to create clipping mask, I put the image in the triangles. Okay, so I get a nice kind of effect there. So if I duplicate this back and then come up to the layer above and just create a hue saturation adjustment layer, turn on colorize and make it into a clipping mask. Okay, then I can kind of change the color of one part of that image in those triangles. Kind of creates a neat effect. Okay, alright, and what I did in the other image, just to kind of add an extra dimension to that, was I duplicated the hue saturation adjustment layer again, keeping the clipping mask, and then change the color, but then using the brush tool just mask that other adjustment out. So basically keeping a real soft brush and then just kind of blending them together, so you get this blend from one kind of color to another. Okay, so we're just remixing layers, if you like, which is sort of the theme of the project. Okay, so we could go into the levels, change the color behind. Okay, so you can get some interesting kind of color effects with kind of muted colors mixed with those oversaturated colors kind of working together. Okay, so that's how to bring triangles in, or shapes, from Illustrator. We've also got, if we weren't using triangles, we were using other shapes, we could use the alignment tools, which I kind of cover in the first set of tutorials. So we'll just drag all those down there. So the alignment tools being the ability to align different shapes together up here. So I think someone mentioned actually that on my screen it shows this little button for alignment because my projector screen is so small, whereas when you look at the top of the Illustrator toolbar here, you'll see all these options kind of lined up when you've got different objects selected. So we've got the distribute and align to top options all up here. Okay, somewhere. Okay, so we could use those to align shapes and do that in different ways too. But I've used triangles as a real simple example, but you could also use other illustrated shapes as well to combine them with photographs, and we could even have used the interwoven cables or something like that to kind of pull parts out of an image and line them up and create some effects. Okay, so that's the next one I wanted to cover. And actually I'm going to jump ahead for a second here. So I'm going to jump to Alex's example of Sol DeWitt, I think it was. Is that right? Well, let's stop